Welcome back to another episode of Sammy and Marissa's Husbands. I'm Marissa's husband. This is Sammy's husband.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. We got a nice little action-packed episode for you today. This day in history by myself. Talk a little bit about good old Mother's Day. Tyler's got an athlete for us. Jump into a random question. Then we have a question sent in by one of the listeners that we'll go over. Talk about the NBA playoffs. Have a nice draft for you guys, and a little bit of a scheduling thing over the weekend that we're going to talk about. So this day in history, May 12th, Tony Hawk was born in 1968. He's 56 years old. Happy birthday, Tony.
Shout out to
Insert cheers here. Also, Homer Simpson was born in 1956.
I believe they are the longest running TV show in syndication.
That is pretty impressive. They're doing something right. He's 68 years old today. Fictionally, of course.
Because they don't age on that. I haven't really watched much of The Simpsons, but they don't age on that show.
Yeah, I don't think the characters have changed too much. But really looking through this day in history, nothing else really sparked my interest. Technically, Mother's Day wasn't this day in history. I believe it was May 9th in 1914 is when Mother's Day was put into accord by Woodrow Wilson. I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. I have to get our fact checker on that. Hopefully he's not too drunk.
Well, yeah, he seems to have an alcohol problem.
Yeah. So with that, Mother's Day, right? Do you have any big plans? Spend it with old mommy?
She wanted to go to brunches, so we got there and we knew it was going to be busy, but there were 29 parties ahead of us. So we decided, fuck that shit. And I went to this place called Far From France. And we had a 9 people party. And I was like, hey, no, it's short notice, but there were tables open in there. And I said, we have a 9-person party. And she said, nope, not going to happen.
What?
I was like, okay. I think they had reservations. So we decided to go to Junction 421. And it was a great meal.
Nice. Nice. Honestly, I think sometimes when it's not the planned place, it ends up being a little better. That brunches place is taking over Wilmington, I feel like. It's always packed. Every time I've been there, like 2 times I've been there, has just been packed.
There's 3 of them in town, and they're opening one in Carolina Beach at that bar. God, I can't remember what it used to be. Sharky's, maybe?
Oh, right. That one location that just keeps changing and changing and changing.
Yeah, they're opening a brunches there, which I'm sure that one will actually work because people go crazy for that shit.
They really do. And I feel like it's kind of a mainstream place. So those out of towners that are staying right there at that Marriott or wherever it may be are probably going to eat that shit up, literally.
And I mean, you know what you're getting.
That's true. Yeah.
It's brunch.
It's brunch, right? There's no, I mean, you're not going there for dinner and expecting a huge meal. But that's what's up. Sounds like a successful Mother's Day. My mom, say what?
What you guys get into?
So not much, just Sam and I. We celebrated a little dog mom day with Jazz, and Jazz is also a mother as well. So had to do a little celebrating for her, even though her babies were stolen from her. But my mom left Saturday morning, so unfortunately didn't get to spend it with her, but it was nice to be able to see her on the weekend at least. But yeah, today we just did kind of the usual Sunday deal, which was nice to avoid the Mother's Day crowds a little bit. We went to the gym. I played pickup. Sam did some walking, and then we went to the grocery store, came back, did laundry, adulting shit.
Sorry, I thought there was going to be something else after adulting shit.
No. The adulting shit kind of concluded my
I'll uh I'll bleep out that 30 seconds of silence.
sure you will, dude. Um, but with that, I believe that takes us into your athlete segment.
All right, I have a very well-known athlete. I don't know if the multi-sport aspect of his career is well known though. Danny Ainge.
Okay.
He was the first person in American high school or in Oregon sports history to be named a first team All American in basketball, baseball, and football. He's one of the top recruits in football in the state of Oregon as a wide receiver. He ended up going to BYU for basketball, became the in his senior year Naismith Player of the Year in America, best college basketball player in the country. He also held the NCAA record for consecutive games scoring over 10 points with 112.
Hmm.
While he was in college, he was in college from 77 to 81. He decided to pursue a baseball career. He was drafted in 77, made it to the majors in 79. Played 3 years with the Blue Jays, mostly as a second baseman. He was at the time of his career the youngest player to hit a home run in Blue Jays history.
Huh.
Currently second on that list behind Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Tracks.
Didn't have anything, not a crazy career. He hit like 200 for his career, 2 home runs, was a solid fielder. But then he decided that he would pursue a basketball career, was selected in the second round by the Boston Celtics. The Celtics had to buy out his Blue Jays contract after a legal battle. He ended up being a vital part of some championship teams with the Celtics. Solid, sixth man type player. Went to the Kings. Let me double check. He spent like half a season with the Kings and he averaged 20 points a game with the Kings, 20 points and 7 assists. Went to the Trailblazers, was a part of the 2 finals teams. He actually tied an NBA record, which is this is a random record, for most points in an overtime during the NBA finals. Then he went to the Phoenix Suns, averaged 12 points a game with them, became the second player in NBA history to hit 900 3-pointers. Then he retired, became a coach for a couple years. He's kind of a shitty coach. Became the Boston Celtics executive in 2003, held that job for 18 years, won NBA Executive of the Year for putting together the original Big Three in Boston that won a championship. And now he is the CEO of basketball operations of the Utah Jazz.
Damn. Yeah, I honestly didn't know he wasn't with the Celtics anymore. And I didn't know he had so much time spent with other teams. Obviously, everybody knows about his Celtics career. I would be interested to know, I guess, so he spent after college, right? So actually, first thought, is he Mormon, we think?
I don't know. He's from Oregon and BYU is in Utah, right?
Correct.
I would say no.
Yeah. I wonder
He,
what do the Mormons call it? Shaking?
where you stick your penis in a vagina
Yeah, they
and
rock the bed.
just
What's that called? What's that called though?
soaking.
Soaking. Yeah, soaking. I wonder if he's ever soaked.
Nah, Danny Ainge was fucking, dude.
He was just taking those Mormon girls and just
Consensually fucking.
yeah, consensually, of course. Yeah, we're not trying to tarnish Danny Ainge's name here or anything, but also after college, going to play baseball. So there was
And
no
during
basketball.
during college.
Oh, that was during college. I still don't understand that. I don't
So
understand that stuff.
the rule with that is you maintain your eligibility in other sports.
Yeah, so okay, so you're not an amateur anymore in baseball.
Yeah.
However, you're an amateur still in basketball. I guess
Mhm.
that makes sense, I guess. I guess that's how all those other guys do it. But yeah, Danny Ainge is really a legend, honestly. He's a legend.
First team All American in high school and football too. That surprised me.
That's pretty wild. I would bet you said he played receiver.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would have picked quarterback, but
that's what I would have thought too, since he also played baseball. I would have
yeah,
just
I feel
assumed.
like usually that like quarterback, second base, point guard kind of goes together. There's like the trio of if you play those three sports, those are the positions you play typically. Um, but yeah, that was obviously Danny Ainge is well known, but didn't really know much about that stuff. Um, I have a random question for you. So next segment, we're in a random question segment. Would you rather
Uh,
have a lightsaber
oh,
or solve world hunger?
I'll solve world hunger because that's what a true Jedi would do.
So you lied.
What?
I said so you lied
Lied about what?
about having a lightsaber or solving world hunger because I know if those two were in front of you, you'd pick the lightsaber.
No, I'd solve world hunger
You're a
too.
fucking liar. You're a lying ass. There's no chance.
I would. Well, actually, if I get the lightsaber, I can solve world hunger.
Murdering everyone so no everyone has enough food to eat.
No, I'm not going the Thanos route and killing half the world. I'm just gonna fuck up a whole entire. Do I get the Force also, or do I just have a light? Am I me just with a lightsaber?
You're you just with a lightsaber.
Well, I won't get very far.
Hey, those are those internal battles you have to face.
I'll solve world hunger, dude.
All right, we need to make a poll at the bottom of this, and I want all you listeners to vote on whether you'd have a lightsaber or solve world hunger. And I want you to be honest. I want you to honestly think about it, what you would do, and
Everyone's using a
whether
lightsaber.
you would choose the lightsaber or lie and say you'd solve world hunger.
I'm for my fellow man.
All right, man. Whatever you say, dude. Trying to act honorable on the podcast. I see what it is.
Oh my god. All right, I have a question for you that it's kind of a three-parter if you're comfortable with that.
All right.
It's sports related. It's nothing too crazy. Um, who is the best athlete you've played with or against in basketball, football, and baseball? You can use high school sports, college sports.
um, that's tough. Um, Probably use like high school experience and best athlete just in terms of sheer athleticism. I'd probably say um probably Trayvon Brown, just because he was just a freak athlete. Um, what he did at the receiver position, he's just leaps and bounds, just a different level than everybody else was at that time. He touched the ball, and it didn't really matter what kind of defense you were playing, anything like that. And then obviously on the basketball court, being probably only like 6'2", maybe 6'3", and jumping out of the gym, could really play any position on the floor, guard any position. So in terms of athleticism, I'd probably pick him. Honestly, our boy Seth Thomas was a freak athlete. Um, and he could kind of do it all: basketball, baseball, football. Joe O'Donnell was not necessarily sheer athleticism, but just in terms of intangibles in all three sports, um, he could do it all as well. But yeah, I think I probably leave with Trayvon Brown. I think just because of the physicality of it.
Yeah, he's still good at basketball. I played against him like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I had to guard him, Brett Blizzard, and I cannot remember his name, the kid that played at Trash that we played against when we were kids.
Yeah, starts with
Guard
an
them-
R.
I had to guard them in 3 back-to-back games. It was a rough couple weeks for me, man.
Yeah, he that dude was special. I just never really played against him tons. Um, so I didn't really get the full. Obviously, there was that little spout when we were in the Y League. It was like that was 14U. We were what, sophomores, freshmen, or something like that, playing down and up.
Yeah, yeah. And it should be talked about making the championship in both of those and winning the up league, and then him being enough to beat us because not to toot our own horns, but we were both averaging probably 30 points a game in that U league.
Yeah. It it's funny to me because he's like the same age as us, right? Playing down. Um, and the entire league and parents, everyone that was watching hated us and thought we were breaking the rules of some sort playing down. But he was just as good, if not better at the time, and was playing down as well. But everybody seemed to like him. We were definitely the villains. We were the 2012 Miami Heat, 2013 Miami Heat of that league.
Um, that well, one, I think he was a little more respectful than we were.
Yeah, that was into our well, I guess more so you.
Well, it was 15U, by the way.
Okay.
15U and then 15 under and 15 older. And well, I would, the parents would talk shit. I would tell them to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, with
I
their
didn't
11-year-old
I,
playing
I
on the
didn't
court.
I didn't understand, you know, why they were upset we weren't breaking any rules. Um, but at that point, they just, I remember my uncle came to a game and I had heard Larry Bird say this in like an interview, and I had probably 26 points in the first half. So I went up to my uncle and I said, "What's the scoring record in this building?" Like as a joke. And, 15, just full of yourself.
Yeah,
Talking shit to grown men, like because I knew they weren't going to hit me.
right. I
But
mean, could you imagine
some of
though?
them, some of them wanted to.
Oh, they wanted to. There was one situation I specifically recall of a father coming onto the court and talking to me. Like he's on the court, me and him are having a discussion. I'm pretty sure he said I couldn't go left or something, which he was right. I couldn't go left. Um, I still can barely go left, but um, yeah, I remember that. Good stuff. But we actually had another question brought to our attention by one of our listeners, and the question is, I believe, if I'm interpreting it right, it's a random team that you and I are on with random players. The team has got one extra spot. We kind of have a mixed variety of players, and we can pick up one person from the friend group at their peak skill level. Who do we pick?
That that's my interpretation of it as well. And I think what we should do is one, determine where it ends, like the people, and then give a little, I don't know, background on each player,
Okay,
and
we
then
can do that.
have a little back and forth.
All right. So you lead it off with the options. Who are the free agents?
I think, core group, Drew, Wes, Corey, Chris, Mike, Nick, and I'm going to throw Kevin in there too. He doesn't even play basketball, but that's the homie. So whatever. Kevin, you're not getting picked, but you're included.
All right, all right.
I'm trying to think if I'm missing anybody.
I don't think we're missing anybody that would want to be included.
That's the
We
core group right there.
we can throw Bryce in there for the sake of he
Oh
lists.
yeah. Bryce and Austin, sure.
Right. Bryce and Austin can be part
Either
of
one of you guys are getting picked,
it.
but you're included. I think I think we should do their breakdown. I'll do Kevin and Austin. It's going to be real quick.
All right.
Kevin, 6'4", 290. He's lost weight. He's been in the gym. I've played basketball with him once, and by his own admission, he's fucking awful. But I bet he sets a hard ass screen.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. And those, I mean, honestly, there's something to be said for setting a hard screen.
Yeah, he'll get me open on the screen. You curling around it, you get a layup. I'm shooting a three off the screen. He's setting a hard screen. Austin, when we were younger, he was very good when we were like little kids. He was in elementary school playing with middle schoolers. I mean, as tall as he got, he probably could have been good at basketball, but he decided he liked other things. And he's always been a very staunch supporter of me on the court. His friends like to talk shit. He always lets them know how it's going to turn out. I always end up destroying his friends because they're mouthy little fuckers. But yeah, I don't really remember how he plays. I think he was a shooter.
Okay. I could see that. Young Austin just letting it fly from deep.
Yeah.
And then Bryce is a big dude, 6'4", 6'5", depending on what shoes he's wearing. Hasn't worked out in a while, but
Yeah.
at his peak, he was probably about 210, I'd say. Probably peak was probably in high school. Probably sets a pretty hard screen, big body, hard to get around. Crashed the glass pretty well. Had a decent little mid-range jumper. Probably didn't have the best post moves necessarily in the world because me and him had similar post move games, which we didn't really learn the footwork. Um, but yeah, just a solid four guy.
Easily, easily the best out of the first three options.
I'd say, yeah. Yeah.
Hard nosed player. I remember I've played against him a couple times. He's a glue guy.
He can be a glue guy. Yeah, he could be. He's got to know his role though.
Yeah, the problem with him is he thinks he's better than he is.
Yeah, that's the problem with a lot of people though.
The majority, and including most of the people we're going to talk about,
Yeah,
have that same problem,
yeah, actually, yeah, definitely.
including the people doing the podcast. So
Yeah, probably including us too.
yeah, that seems to be going around.
I mean, maybe including you, not me. I'm definitely as good as I think I am.
I was just being humble. I didn't want to call you out. I'm the best player in the world.
Yeah, definitely. Um, so let's just go down. I think we'll start with the person that asked the question, Wes. Right? Wes is, like a four guy. He's like a forward. Um, Sets a really hard screen, probably the hardest of screens of the people on the list, which is something to be said. His defense picked up when he was playing a lot. He plays actually pretty solid on ball defense. Fouls a decent amount, um, a lot actually. Has a nice little jump hook game. He can put the ball in the basket, especially off a rebound, getting that thing up there quick. I think that's where he kind of thrives. But in terms of offense, he's not giving you tons, but he knows that. He's not stretching the floor for you, but he knows where he belongs and where he fits typically.
Yeah, hard nosed player. Um, I never thought he got the respect he deserved. He did work very hard. People always talk shit about him because his game is not pretty by any means. Never got any respect. I think he deserved more than he got. Um, Decent little mid range. His float game is good. I like him coming off rolling, shooting a little floater from 8 feet. Got a decent post hook. Probably the best part of his offensive game is his passing. Um, on the same thing, he sometimes gets a little ahead of himself with that, trying to be a little too fancy. But he's a good passer. Very good post defender. The thing that holds him back, he doesn't really have too much weight. I wish he still played because he's bigger now. He'd probably be better now if he kept playing. He's like 220. He's a bigger guy. I think it would help him the way he plays. Zero ball handling.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's non-existent.
Zero ball handling. So that will hurt him, and he can be targeted if he's guarding someone on the perimeter, I think.
Right, I agree. I think in the mismatch game, you could target him a bit if you get a good ball handler to switch out on him. But I will say, if this question was you have someone you need to bring someone in that will headbutt someone, he's got to be
He
picked.
he is about it playing basketball. I don't know what happens to him on the court, but he will fight someone for no fucking reason.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, hey, there's something to be said for that. You
You know,
need
you
those
know, you
equals.
know his player comparison is Charles Oakley.
I was thinking Tristan Thompson.
That's another good one. They're the same fucking kind of player.
Yeah, yeah,
Oakley's got a better jump shot though.
yeah. True. Um, but moving on, I think Drew is next on the list. Drew lefty, so lefty shots are just prettier. It's a proven fact, science. There's a scholarly article about it somewhere. Um, not gonna do too much on the offensive end other than spot up, get you some spacing, which I do like. Um, he can drive to the rim, make a layup, but he has to be on the left side. Um, you put him on the right side, he's probably not even shooting the layup. Um, but but overall understands the game.
My
Can
basketball IQ.
right. He understands basketball. He knows how the movement's supposed to work. He's played organized basketball before, so that is something to be said big time.
Yeah, I'd say probably out of the guys that we have options from, one or two best shooter. I mean, for me, he's the best shooter. Mike is going to think he's the best shooter. For me, I'm going to give it to Drew. There's no disrespect to Mike. Mike can shoot the ball, but for me, it's going to be Drew. Just I've played with Drew more, played in men's leagues together. I always trust Drew to take a shot anywhere. I'm sometimes having to force him to shoot, and yeah, that motherfucker loves passing me the ball and letting me go off. So I love playing with Drew, and he's not a great defender, but he is very good at playing passing lanes.
True.
It's like he'll jump a pass and steal, get a fast break layup, make 6 out of 10 fast break layups.
Yeah. Um, I agree. I think definitely on the left side of those fast break layups. But next, I
I,
believe.
I do have I don't know how you feel about the shot. Um, Drew's another guy who doesn't get enough respect, I think, just from other people that play.
I agree. I would say that about everybody on the list.
Yeah, everybody gets a little disrespected because they didn't play in high school.
Right.
So, naturally they get disrespected by people who also didn't play in high school, which makes no fucking sense. But that's neither here nor there. But what do you think about that little sweeping left hand hook that Drew shoots?
I hate it. Um, I hate it. Usually because the regular layup is always on the table. Um, and he could just shoot a left-handed layup. Honestly, I don't get it. I don't know how it goes in, but he makes it. And I'm usually have my hands covering my face while it's in the air. And honestly, it's a high percentage shot. Most of the time he shoots it, it goes in.
Yeah, he's got that and that little fade
Yeah,
goes over his right shoulder. Yeah, he goes over his right shoulder.
right. So moving on, I believe Tingo is up. Tingo, when we were younger, CB League. Tingo was a force. He's real fast, ran the break really well, handled the ball pretty good. Um, just overall pretty decent point guard. Um, so I think he hasn't played in a long time, or that I've seen at least. So I think that hinders from what I've seen. I really haven't seen him play since we were, young. So I don't really have too much of an option on what he is now.
He ended up probably when he was at his peak, freshman, sophomore year of high school. Um, he was a good point guard, pass first point guard, more of a defender than an offensive player. Just what I think about him on offense is driving, going to his left. He's got long arms, extending left hand layup. He'll make an open jump shot. Not a very willing jump shooter. He was much better when we were younger. He just kind of just stopped playing.
Right, he just stopped playing. And
He
then, and then
he wasn't good enough to play in high school, I don't think. But he's like right there on that tier of guys who like are almost good enough when he was playing.
yeah, I think if he would have kind of focused on it a little bit more and stuck that as the only sport, he probably could have made an argument to make the team as a point guard. He just, he's a little shorter, so that didn't help his case, right? But overall, good player. And then moving on
For
down
him,
to
I think another thing that hurt him is he played a lot of sports. He played soccer, baseball, lacrosse. He played lacrosse in high school. So I think for him it was kind of like he I think specializing would have helped him.
right. Yeah, I agree. And then next on the free agent list, I believe Corey. So Corey, same thing, played a lot of sports, focused mostly in baseball. Usually baseball translates a little bit to basketball, and I think it did with him as well. He's got a fluid game. He looks the part out there. He looks like he knows what he's doing. I think he just never really played consistent enough to really develop that game. I mean, another lefty. He can really do it with both hands, which is pretty impressive. But a nice little mid-range game. Not really going to extend to the three-point line as much, but big body, set screens, knows how to play the game. He understands where he fits in, so he's definitely a viable option out there.
Yeah, he can extend to the 3-point line. I think the thing that hurts him the most is he doesn't want to listen to anybody complain. Like in men's leagues, he doesn't want to hear people bitch about playing time. Basketball was never like his most serious sports where he was just trying to have fun. So what he ended up adopting is he would just be my sub. He would I would play the whole first half, the last 4 minutes he would play. He'd play the first 4 minutes of the second half. And it ended up hurting our team because he was better than the guys that he was sitting behind, but he just did not want to listen to their bitching. So if you want a guy who's going to know his role, not complain, make the right play, and that's a shit talking motherfucker too. I mean, for a guy that doesn't really play basketball, he will get in somebody's face and talk pure ass shit to them.
Yeah, and I mean, you need that. You need that fire.
Yeah, 2 years ago, he called a guy said something to him, and Corey said, "Shut the fuck up, you little pussy," with his parents in the stands. So he's like that.
I love that. I love that. And then next on the free agent roster, I believe is the last one we were talking about is Mike.
We're gonna throw Nick in there too.
Nick in there as well. Okay, so um, Mike has gotten a lot better in terms of his actual tangible skills. Shooting, obviously, he can shoot the ball. Other than that, obviously, he has his little baby hook, walk you down under the rim post game. But in terms of that translating to a real game scenario, I haven't seen it work. I know he has played in some men's leagues in Florida, says it works, but I just haven't seen it. I've played with him at Carolina Beach Rec Center, and he shoots the ball very well, but I haven't played in a game scenario with him where he's making those shots. But also at the same time, he doesn't really get the ball tons. So faults of other people as well. But I will say when he came and played with us at the church on Market Street, he had kind of a cold streak, and he didn't get a chance to showcase that shooting that he always talks about.
I do think he is a borderline great shooter. I'm not going to call him a great shooter just because I haven't seen it in game. But if you go play horse with that motherfucker or something like that, or one-on-one, he also has gotten much better. Much better. His ball handling's improved. He is the toughest person to stop from scoring.
I agree with that for
Like
sure.
from to like without fouling him,
Yeah.
it's honestly almost impossible to stop that stupid ass baby hook.
Yeah.
Like when we're playing one on one and he shoots a three, I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
Because especially the two of us playing against each other, I'm taller than him, but similar builds right now.
Right.
Um, it's like war playing against that motherfucker. And I think the reason he doesn't play as good is I think he wants to show us. I mean, he'll never admit this. He wants to show us how much better he's gotten, and it makes him a little nervous.
Yeah.
Not nervous to play in front of us, just he's like, I've been working hard. I've gotten better. I want to show them I've gotten better because no one believes me,
Right.
which I do believe him, but you know, I mean, he's good.
Right. For sure. And then moving down the free agent list, Nick. Nick is the same way. Doesn't focus really on basketball. When we were younger, he was and up until like midway through high school, he was really good. Like there was a time where like Nick was the best one at basketball in the friend group.
Mhm.
Um, Big dude, knows how to use his size, really strong in there. Honestly, when he's playing physical, I honestly I don't want to be on the other team. Like he plays really good defense. Athletic guy, can get rim to rim really fast. And he's physical in there. He's not afraid to go in there and throw his body around.
He's the hardest person for me to score against. I'm not going to say he's the best defender. I think you're a better defender, but it's easier for me to score on you than it is for me to score on him.
Yeah.
Also, I think he gets more enjoyment out of stopping me from doing something than you do.
Yeah, and I think he gets enjoyment out of causing you physical pain.
Yeah, he's very strong. He's very athletic. He's a great defender. He's a good passer. He's kind of like a like Boris Diaw type player.
I could see it. Probably doesn't extend as far out to the 3-point line as Boris did, but really in there, very skilled inside, rebounds, defense, kind of does it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, I want everybody to absorb that. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Do you suffer from your dog taking shits and massive pisses in your kitchen? Try the new trend that's been sweeping the country: euthanization, to put all your troubles at ease. Scene.
All right. Thanks to our sponsors. We'll get back with the regularly scheduled program. Um, to our topic of who we're going to select as our free agent. Um, I'll I'll select my free agent first, and then we'll get into Marissa's husband so he can make his pick. My free agent selection is going to be Drew. I need some shooting on my squad. I think his play style fits with my game. He spaces the floor, he spreads the defense, and he's able to knock down that corner three. The uh, the way that I play is a lot of getting to the rim, and I don't want the congestion in the paint, which I think a lot of people on our list bring. And I like the ball in my hand, so that takes away a lot of other people. So I think I want Drew to be able to keep that defender away from me in the corner, and then if he collapses and plays to me, then I got Drew in the corner who I feel can knock down that corner three with ease, and another ball handler to bring the ball up the court if one of us needs a break and can defend on the perimeter. So that's my pick.
Solid pick. He was one of my two options. So I am going to pick old Weasel, Wesley Parker, because we all know on this team, I'm not going to play any defense. So I'm going to get Wes out there, play some post defense so he can spell me. Because I'm in on this team, I'm playing point guard, but we don't have any big guys, so I'm also going to have to guard a big guy. So that Wes is going to spell me from that. He's going to guard a big man. And he's going to set me a lot of screens. He's going to set you some down screens, some flare screens, get you open on the wing. And then we're going to go on to win a championship.
I like it. I like it. I was bouncing between a few people. And just with how I play right now, I think Drew fits best for me. And it sounds like Wes fits best for you. So with that all wrapped up, let's move on to our next segment. We'll talk a little NBA playoffs. Um, T-Wolves Nuggets. T-Wolves up 2-1. That's actually happening tonight. It's actually about to start right now. I don't think anyone expected the T-Wolves to win games 1 and 2 at Denver. I don't think anybody expected that, especially without Gobert in game 2. I will say the refs really let them play in game 2. There was really some suspect calls and a lot of contact throughout that game.
Game 2 or game 3?
Game 2. So
Okay.
when they won in Denver.
Okay.
Game 3 was basically a must win from Denver, and they spanked them pretty good. T-Wolves are favored by 2.5 tonight. So we'll see where that goes. Are we going to go up 3-1 or are we going to even it back at 2-2?
I am going to be concerned if they tie it tonight.
Yeah, me too.
Jamal Murray should have been suspended for a game.
100%. He should have been suspended. And also Mike Malone should have got a tech early in that game too for running out on the court and getting in the ref's face. But like I said, the refs were letting them go. It was fun to watch, but they were letting them go big time.
I love Adam Silver. I do think he's the best commissioner in sports. But you know, the NBA is a money making machine. So he wants all the eyes on the games he can get. That's why Murray wasn't suspended. He 100% deserved a suspension. And I love Jamal Murray. He's a hell of a player, but he was acting like a bitch. He should get suspended for that.
Yeah, I think if that was anybody other than Jamal Murray, Jokic, Ant, or Cat, maybe Gobert, they would have been suspended 100%.
They're spending Gobert. Gobert doesn't get any respect, dude.
Get any respect? He just won Defensive Player of the Year again.
I was going to say, other than the people voting for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. But
he's played himself into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see how it goes tonight. I wanted to take T-Wolves by 2.5, but really I'm not comfortable with it. I just left it alone. I will say our bet is not looking great for you right now. He's averaging 1 3-pointer made per game. He had 2 in game 1, started off strong, 0 in game 2, and 1 in game 3.
Yeah, game 2, I think he only shot 2.
Yeah, I think Gobert being out made him want to attack a little bit more and try and get Cat in foul trouble. So with Gobert back, I could see him shooting more threes because Gobert is a presence down there. It's harder to score on him in the paint. So I could see him shooting a few more threes.
Yeah. All right. Who you taking tonight? Gun to your head.
Gun to my head, I would take T-Wolves money line.
Okay. I'm with it.
Yeah.
I'm a believer.
I'm a believer, and it's just because I want to see him win. I think if my life depended on it, I'd probably take the Nuggets just in terms of sheer odds and stuff. But yeah, I'm hoping T-Wolves pull it out. Celtics Cavs. Celtics are up 2-1. I watched game 1, and I would have put a lot of money on the Celtics to sweep them. I honestly don't know how they lost game 2. I didn't watch it. I know Mitchell went crazy, and a couple of their role players played really well. But he's the real deal. He's the only one that gives them consistent offense, though. It really just looks so hard for the Cavs to score, and I don't see how this is going to be a competitive series at all, especially if Tatum actually gets going. I'm taking Celtics in 5.
Yeah, the Cavs are solid. They need a better bench because once they go to the bench, the offense just kind of stalls. Darius Garland was in foul trouble a lot of the game, and he didn't shoot particularly well in game three, 6 for 15 from the floor, 1 for 6 from three. They need more out of him. I mean, he needs to get them 25 a game, I think, if they're going to beat the Celtics, which is a lot. Because
Yeah,
Mitchell's going to get his. He's going to get 30 a game. They don't have anybody that can guard him.
no, and he's making shots. Those threes he hits are pretty insane, and he just looks tired out there because he's doing it all. He's playing defense. He's literally the primary ball handler. The thing about the Cavs is either Darius Garland or Mitchell has the ball for 20 seconds of the shot clock, and that's their only offense. The Celtics are swinging that thing around, and they have 4, 5, 6 dudes that can score. When Drew Holiday's like your 5th or 6th option, and he's making shots, that's pretty good, especially if they end up getting Porzingis back.
Yeah, he was playing big time bully ball with someone who was guarding him. He was either getting. I was watching the game at the dive. He was either getting guarded by Karis LeVert or Evan Mobley on a switch. I couldn't tell who it was, but he was bully balling them for like 3 possessions in a row.
Yeah, that's pretty racist. I'm pretty sure it was Mobley because I saw that as well. But yeah, he shot just like a right-handed jump hook over Evan Mobley, who's in the running for defensive player of the year. Obviously, Gobert won it, but he's no slouch. He's just he's a
He's
physical
long.
guard. Yeah,
Pause.
yeah. No Diddy.
No Disney. Mavs take game 3, take a 2-1 series lead. What do you think about that?
I think it looks like it's going to be a pretty competitive series. I haven't been able to watch those games as much because there's always so late. And my alarm clock goes off at 3:50 every morning. So those 8 o'clock games, I don't got them in me. I like Mavs in 7. I think it's going to be competitive back and forth. I think Luka and Kyrie are clicking pretty well, and I think OKC plays really well together. And Shy is tough, man. But I think Mavs ultimately pull it out. I think this is their year to make a little bit deeper of a run.
Yeah, I mean, the two of them obviously are going to do their thing, Doncic and Kyrie. But PJ Washington the past 2 games has been fucking on one, dude.
Yeah, and when their role players are playing well, and those two, they're hard to play against.
And yeah, but Shy is a freak. I mean, everybody on their team played pretty good. That was a good game. I watched most of that game. Shy's going to give you 30. I'm just trying to see where they're going to get more. I guess they need more out of Josh Giddey. He only had 9 points. Isaiah Joe is good for them off the bench. He's a solid shooter. But yeah, I mean, where are they going to get more? I
I
mean,
don't think
Chet.
they necessarily get more from one person. I think they get more from everybody. I think it's a team game that they play, and they have those role players that play, and everybody gets 7 or 8 and kind of deal. I think that's where they win. But I don't see them taking the series.
I mean, they go deeper than a lot of teams are going now. They're playing 9 guys, at least 13 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward played 3 minutes last game, but I'm not counting that.
No, you can't count that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a interesting NBA playoff so far, and I'm excited to kind of see the next couple rounds. We'll move into our next segment. We got a draft for you guys. Draft is going to be best beers, and we're not talking about brands of beers. We're talking about settings for beers. So you know the rules, 5 each. I'll let you go first.
Okay. I'm gonna go with. Let me hold on. Let me pull up my my spreadsheet because I got a spreadsheet because I'm autistic
I like it.
of every draft we've done, of every athlete we've done. So we got a little bit. Just out of curiosity, did you listen to the one that I did last week or the last episode?
You did a solo?
Yeah.
No, I didn't listen to it.
Yeah, you should listen to it.
Oh my God.
It's
Solo
better.
number two.
It's better than the first one.
Well, I would hope so. Anything could have been better than the first one.
Okay. Beer settings. I am gonna go first. You are going second because there's only two of us. All right. I am gonna go with, and you tell me if this is kind of the way we're going. A beer with good friends.
Okay, I like it. Yeah. Beer with good friends.
Beer with the homies.
Beer with the homies. Yeah, that's a great beer. Um, great beer. Um, I think for my first pick, I'm gonna take this beer because it really hits the spot,
I
and
know.
there's not many things like it. I'm gonna say a beach beer.
Oh, okay. Interesting. That is a great beer. That's not what I thought you were gonna do.
Okay, one of these beers that's gonna pull up. I think me and you have mixed feelings about, and we've talked about it in the past, but we'll save that just in case it does is pull up. If not, we'll throw it in as an honorable mention. So pick number two is up for you.
Okay. This is uh it's not beer with the homies because that can be anywhere, but a lot of times your homies are there when this is happening. Uh a beer at the game.
Okay, I like that. Like a sporting event.
Yeah.
Okay, those are good beers. Those are good beers. Nothing like having like a baseball game beer.
Love it.
Um,
No, nothing like spending $15 on a fucking beer, bro.
yeah, those are good beers. Those are good beers. Um, so my pick number two is gonna be a roadie.
Nice.
Yeah, a
Of course, we
roadie.
don't condone drinking and driving, and we have never had a roadie. This is just based on things we've heard from other people, from
No,
from
right.
times.
No, but even so, even if you're not driving, you're headed to the bar after the pregame and you're sitting shotgun, just smashing one more Yingling on the way to the bar.
If you're sitting shotgun, you should not be drinking roadies. Roadies are backseat beers.
Right. It doesn't matter where I'm at in the car. It could be in the bed of the fucking truck. I'm on the road and I'm having a solid beer.
Shout out New Orleans roadies.
Oh my God. Impeccable roadies.
All right. This is honestly kind of tough.
Yeah.
This is I could have taken this one ahead of a beer at the game. Live music beer.
Okay. Live music beer is good. Um, all of these beers are with homies. So really you don't like drinking alone is what it sounds like.
No, I don't. I generally I alcoholism runs in my family. I generally try to avoid drinking by myself.
That's
I
fair.
did drink by myself last night, but generally I try to avoid it. And this I don't want this to be misconstrued with concert beer because I think that is something that could be different. This is more you're at Seawitch or you're at a local place and get a regular price beer, but there's live music.
Okay. Okay, I like that. Um, I'm gonna take with my third pick the morning of a wedding beer.
Okay.
So it could be your own wedding, which was a great PBR, by the way, or it could be someone else's wedding that you're involved with, like your wedding, where we crushed, I think, Bush Lights. Um,
I think they were Bud Heavies.
they were Bud Heavies. We have those pictures. You're right. Good old red tab.
For me, not to cut you off, but I don't remember the beer the morning of your wedding. I remember the bootlegger.
Oh yeah, yeah. Same concept,
Yeah.
right? Just those. It's way too early to have a beer. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So those beers for me.
Okay. I'm gonna go with for my next beer. I'm gonna call it the hair of the dog or riding the ship beer.
Yeah.
After I
Yeah. Those are necessary beers.
bring it back to life.
Yeah. Necessary beers. So I have a couple options here. One of them you guys might not appreciate, so I'm gonna keep that off my list because
Oh,
it's definitely would be on my list
no, I think you have to do that one.
because it's on my list. Okay.
No, I think because I've been anticipating you picking that one this whole time, and I think it would be disingenuous if you didn't put it on your list.
I don't think you're gonna pick this one.
I'm not.
I don't think. No, I'm saying I don't think you're gonna know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I think we're definitely talking about the same thing.
Okay, I'm gonna say a chairlift beer.
Oh, we're definitely not talking about the same thing. You could have left that off. You can take that off if you want to,
Okay,
but
no, I'm gonna keep it because it's my top four beers.
okay.
Chairlift beer. Man, it's just great. For those of you who don't know, you get on that chairlift, you're heading up the mountain. You only got a certain amount of time to crush this beer before you get down and you snowboard off. But just smacking a good beer while you're riding up looking at the mountains is it's a quality beer.
Okay. That is not where I thought you were going. Um, and I want to apologize for going so hard because I thought it was something else, but I'm sure you'll take that one with number five.
Doubt it.
I I would be shocked if you didn't.
Okay.
For for mine, I'm gonna go with the Uber's Here beer,
Oh, nice. Nice.
where you got either one sip or you just cracked a new one and you gotta fucking slam it and pregame's over. It's time to get to fucking business.
Okay. Solid choice. Solid choice. Well, I'm at a crossroads again. I have two options. One, again, I don't think you guys will appreciate as much. Uh, Another one, I think only you would appreciate. Um, but for this one, I'm gonna say, oof, this is tough. This is tough. This is where I'm gonna make my money right here.
Go with your heart.
All right. So I'm gonna go with the beer after a long run,
Oh, nice.
like our marathon beer or our 5K, 10K beers. It's free for one. And then you just got a good feeling of accomplishment. It's usually nice outside, and you just get to smack a beer and get some calories back in you.
I like that. And it's nice when you did a race with someone, you can share that beer with them. You share that bond over that beer when
Right.
you really should just be drinking water.
Yes.
Actually, I think there's maybe some science to a beer after a run.
I think there is. I think it's something about getting the carbs back in you.
Probably not in the way that we consume it.
Yeah, probably not.
Um, I'm gonna throw you a line, and I'm gonna do an honorable mention if you want.
All right.
Um, this isn't really a setting, so it's a little against the thing, but I think. Well, I guess it is a setting. Um, oh my God, I'm blanking on the name of the fucking game. Shout out Corey. I'm having some brain melt right now. What's the card game that we play?
Circle of Death.
No, not that one.
Speed bump.
Speed bump. Speed bump beer.
A speed bump beer is a nice. Is that where you thought I was going?
No, 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 no. It's not.
Okay.
I tossed you the line to give you an honorable mention because you had two that you were playing.
My honorable mention is gonna be a golf beer.
Oh man, you're still not doing the one that I thought.
No, there's drinking on the golf course is something that everybody needs to experience, and it is just a good time. You're out there for one, you're driving, so you're drinking and driving.
Oh yeah.
For two, they just go down smooth out there.
Do you know what beer I think you're thinking?
I think you thought I was gonna say shower beer.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say shower beer.
I genuinely think shower beers are overrated.
See, you're the person who I thought loved shower beers.
I mean, I like a shower beer. I think they're enjoyable.
I
Um,
don't like.
I think they're overrated.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we agree on that.
Yeah. So that's what I was talking about before. I thought we were gonna say I thought you were gonna pick shower beer.
No, no, no. The only reason I would have picked it, and I'm glad I didn't, and I just went with ones I liked, is I would have picked it to take it away from you.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's definitely gonna be popular. Like it's gonna get the fan vote. A lot of people think shower beers are great. I just think it's overrated in the sense of everybody says, "Oh, shower beer, shower beer." It's just, when I'm in the shower, I'm washing, I'm getting out.
Yeah, when I'm in the shower, my balls are dirty.
Yeah, until you clean them. But
No, they pretty much then when I get out too. You know what I'm saying? Anyway,
all right, so that sums up our best beers. I'll give a little recap. I took beach beer, roadie, morning of a wedding beer, chairlift beer, and beer after a long run.
honorable mention golf course beer.
Correct.
And I went with uh, beer with the homies or close friends. I don't even know why I changed it to homies. But beer with your close friends. A beer at a game, live music beer, uh, hair of the dog, riding the ship, however you call it, the hangover beer, and the Ubers are here beer with honorable mention a speed bump. And if you haven't played speed bump, we will be filming a tutorial this weekend to put on our Twitter page whenever the fuck we launch that.
Yeah, so I like that, and that's a great transition because we're going to go into a little bit of a weekend schedule. And this is classified information that we're putting on the internet. So now everybody will know where we're at. So if you need a celeb appearance, maybe we'll sign some autographs this weekend. You'll know where we'll be. But this is the last week of my class, right? I have our formal Wednesday night, graduation Friday night, and then my next class starts June 8th or July 8th, excuse me. So I got a little bit of a break again. Not as big of a break as last cycle, but still about a month or so, right? I'm coming into town late Friday night. I have a wedding to go to Saturday afternoon. Saturday night, we're burning CB to the ground, right? I think we need a theme. Okay, we'll get back to the theme. I'm thinking beach Sunday morning. Whoever wants to participate can. If not, no worries. I know you guys aren't as much beach people as I am, but I'm thinking beach if the weather's nice. There's a lot of NBA games on this weekend. There's one game Saturday night, 3 games Sunday night. So I figured we'd watch those Sunday night. And I'll end up departing Monday morning or Tuesday morning, depending on the weather / things to do. I know you guys work, so I'm not going to just sit there and sit on my hands when I could sit on my hands at home. One thing I think we should talk about is potentially playing pickup and an in-person pod.
I like it.
Okay,
In
so
person pod for sure. I don't. That was my question. There's pickup on Saturday from 2 to 5, but you got the wedding, so
yeah, that's going to be tough because the wedding's at 4.
yeah, that we'll just go ahead and nix that.
Yeah, that Saturday morning pickup's probably not going to work. But we can talk about the pickup. I just wanted to put that in your brain and have you think about any other things that might be happening. In-person pod is going to take a little bit of effort because I think we're gonna have to buy some equipment if we do that, which is not the end of the world, but it's possible, right? So I'll bring my computer and we can make that happen. So burning down CB, we need a theme. Doesn't have to be something crazy. We don't have to dress up. But I think a theme would be fun.
I like themes. Are you gonna stay at my house?
I don't know. I was gonna see if that was all right.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. It's your house anyway.
I'll have my dog.
I don't. Yeah, I don't care. I like jazz.
All right. So
Uh,
for all the listeners out there, you guys be thinking of a theme as well, and listen to that agenda and see if you want to fit in somewhere. You're all invited. We'll
and
sign
this
autographs all
this
day.
is this is your formal invite, friends
Yeah,
of
correct.
us that listen. I'm not gonna send out a goddamn group message. That shit is annoying as fuck. If you listen to this in time, you're invited.
Correct. I like that.
So
Let's get
Chris, you're not invited because you don't listen to the fucking show.
yeah, definitely not. Um, yeah, so people think of a theme for us. We can drop it in the comment box, or you can just shoot us a text and we can think on that. But I think that's pretty much what the schedule is going to look like. You got any buff? Any issues with that?
No, I think that's a good idea. I'm just gonna take a look at the agenda real quick. And I was when you texted me and said any beef question mark, I thought it was like, do I have any beef with anything? Like anything I want to vent about that I hate? Not
No,
beef with
I thought you
agenda.
meant I meant, do you have beef with the agenda that we're going to talk about?
Yeah, I realize that now. But I think we should start another quick segment. Right top of your head, something that annoys the shit out of you.
Oof, that's
Good way
tough.
to end it.
Do you have something on your mind, or am I just up?
I got something. Oh,
All
a
right,
wet
well,
sock.
say what?
A wet sock.
A wet sock. Yeah, wet socks suck.
Yeah,
Uh,
I get either from the rain or it happens a lot at work if you have a hole in your boots, like because a lot of the boots are kind of like a plastic material and when they crease, they get a little hole in the side. And obviously fish house is wet and your sock gets wet and it ruins your whole fucking day.
yeah, I'd say a wet sock sucks. I've had to deal with some wet socks a lot, and most of the time I don't get to do anything about it, so I just have to walk around with wet socks all day. But I played pickup today, um, and there's the typical pickup fights that happen, and somebody's bitching about foul calls and stuff like that. Whatever, that happens. That doesn't annoy me too bad. What annoys me is when someone acts like they're actually gonna fight. Like we know that no one's really gonna fight. It's Sunday morning, right? It's the Lord's Day. We're out here playing pickup basketball, right? Nobody's gonna fight. So don't act like you are.
Especially not with me.
Yeah.
Because I'll send you to see the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I think maybe you might be a part of that list because you're not actually gonna fight either.
That's the misconception. I leave it open-ended. I say, hey, you fuck, why don't you cross this line? And nobody does because they know I got power in these fucking knuckles, son.
Yeah. But if they cross the line, you wouldn't do anything about it.
I'm taking their fucking soul,
No,
sister.
you'd take a step back and say, no, 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 cross this line.
I meant the other line. I'm gonna go get in my car and go home.
Yes, exactly. Um, so outro, do you have any shout outs you'd like to give?
Shout out to people listening. This is fun. I don't know if we'll ever go anywhere and be popular or anything, but it's fun. I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, me too. I enjoy it, and I think we will. I think eventually we'll be rich and famous. Maybe
Well,
not.
that's gonna happen. I just don't know if it's gonna be through this.
Correct, correct. Yeah. I have a shout out. Um, Oh, Robert Kennedy for getting rid of that worm in his brain.
The worm was my favorite part about him. I thought the worm added a little bit of personality.
Yeah, that's a hot take, but hey, whatever works. Um, so yeah, man, we'll be in touch and see you again same time next week.
Heard.